Well, you know more than me on your YouTube side. All right, let's have a look over here. We're looking at June.com, June Analytics. So we do see that last month we closed the lowest since June as far as OpenSea volume. I think it's
Oof.
very important to point out that at this point over here, all of these months pretty much until about December, there was really only OpenSea.
Hmm.
And now this volume is being shared. So we're going to jump onto DAP Radar as well and just have a look at what the other marketplaces are doing. If we have a look at monthly volume in Ethereum terms, last month and the month before were pretty much the same in
1 second,
Ethereum
Philip.
terms.
Back in like 30
No
seconds.
problem. Yeah, good. Then if we look at OpenSea daily volume, we can see yesterday we did 10 million, the day before we did 13 million, and the day before 15 million. So we really had this 20 million candle was art gobblers. And then from then, we've been slowly tracking down back to our usual average. Today's not over yet, so this candle doesn't really matter. If we look at OpenSea daily volume, we see in ETH terms, same story that we were talking about over there, the gobblers, and now they've died off. Actually, quite a lot of controversy going on there, and we're seeing a pullback. They're now sitting at around 8.5 Ethereum. Then we look here, Polygon, after we had the Reddit, you see October was an incredible month for Polygon.
Mm,
If you look at that compared to the months before, so that was all the Reddit NFTs. What's going to be very interesting is to see what this month closes at on the Polygon side. So, how much of this Reddit mania carries through and carries forward?
yeah, that one's gonna be interesting.
For
I'm not sure
sure.
what to expect there, honestly. Like, I definitely looked at Reddit more as like a, I don't know if culture is the right word, but more as like a signal for the future rather than like which NFTs to buy. I wasn't really focused on that. I'm not like I said, I'm not a big trader, but that's kind of where I was looking. And so it will be interesting to follow the Reddit stories and see where the trends go with that one.
For sure. And I think it's only positive for the space. I really do. So many people having a positive experience with NFTs, whether they know they're NFTs or not. And for big business to see Reddit successfully launch a Web3 campaign that had very little FUD and was only positive and actually is consistent with their brand image and Reddit's plan for the future and their vision as a company, it really is a case study to other big businesses, especially online or social businesses that are looking how they can do it. I think Reddit will be a case study for them. Definitely bullish on this for the space for sure.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%.
If we have a look yesterday, OpenSea volume, let's just call it 10 million. Magic Eden, 6.5 million. So we have seen a pump in the last 24 hours on Magic Eden because of the Utes reveal, which is going on currently. So that's brought Magic Eden back nicely. We're looking CryptoPunks alone did 2 million yesterday.
Wow.
X2Y 1.7 million. One marketplace that isn't on DAP radar is Blur. But I
Mm,
know that they were at about 2 million in the last 24 hours. So we've got to add that in. So if we add it all together, we're over 20 million, which is better than we've been for a very long time. You look here, 10 plus 6 is 16 and a half, plus 2 is 18 and a half, plus 1.5 is 19, 20, 21 million up to looks rare here. And we're not including Blur. So that's about $23 million. That's better than it has
come
been.
on in.
It's been 20 or just under 20 the whole time.
Yo.
And then if we have a look over here, we've got Bitcoin sitting at 21,000, Ethereum sitting at 1,643. So we've really seen a nice pump up the last 24 hours at the very least. And we've seen the same in the stock market over here. So we're seeing the NASDAQ, S&P 500, a lot more green, right? A lot more green than red. So the last 24 hours have been pretty good. But since we met last week, Kate, the stock market is overall on the week down about 1.5% since last Friday on average for this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we pulled a little bit back today, but I'm still down on the week on the stock market. Yet we up on the week on crypto, which is interesting. So it's maybe the
Holy
beginnings
shit.
of a
Yeah, you're right.
it may be the beginnings of a depegging because we were about one
Yeah.
five something
12
last
hours
Friday.
ago.
So
No, 12 hours ago
uh,
it was, dude.
yeah, for sure, but also last Friday. So I'm
Okay.
saying to you that we've had about a 7 to 10% increase in ETH in the last week, yet we've had a 1.5% decrease on the Nasdaq and S&P 500. So that could be the beginning of Ethereum, Bitcoin going back on their own path and not following the markets, or not. We'll see what happens next week and the week after. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's way too early to tell.
Yeah. But definitely interesting because if you've been looking at it week on week, usually if the market's down on the week, crypto's down on the week, and if the market's up on the week, crypto's up. So it's interesting. If we start to consistently see this, then it might be that we're going away from being pegged to the stock market.
Yeah, no, that's actually true. I haven't been paying too much attention to that as much. I guess I've kind of been focused on the back end of like the business, so I haven't been paying attention too much to. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm like in the middle of the stream. I had the bug guy coming through, just double check my apartment. But yeah, no, I've been focusing way more on the business, especially the last like 48 hours. That's like where my brain is at right now. I've been making some like digital products I think will be really helpful. But as far as like the market, I mean that I'm shit. This is why I'm here in this show, because these are the things that I don't know about that Philip has the alpha on, because I don't have it. I wonder. I actually am curious to know, for the people who are watching, like what y'all pay attention to on like the day to day. You know, like what are the things you pay attention to, and then why do you come to this stream? Like, what is it from this stream that you guys like to listen to? Because we'll definitely, you know, like attribute that to the show and try to add things in there. Because like I don't know if people want more trading stuff, because if they do, then I'll like start to focus a little bit more on that, so I can contribute to the conversation there. What is your favorite thing to talk about, though, Philip, on the show?
I like it all. I like the mixture. I think it's important, like, to have a bit of a macro of what's going on. So that's why we look at the markets, and then I like to look at the macro of the NFT markets, which is what we're going to do over now, and then the news stories and projects, and then talk about anything. I like it. I like it all. I think it's a good mixture.
Yeah, me too. We need to get sponsored, bro.
So
it'll come.
let's see what's trending. So in the last 24 hours, we've got Chromie Squiggles sitting at the top. We got Art Gobblers number 2, but they're trending downwards. And I think that that's really important for people to understand, even on OpenSea or anywhere where you see the most volume. Don't think just because they're number 4 that they're going to be going up. When a project's dumping, it trends also, because there's a lot of volume being traded, but the wrong way. And that's what's happening at the moment with Arc Gobblers. We've seen them at 8.66. They were sitting at about 15 ETH yesterday, and they were sitting at about 20 ETH the day before. And what's happened here, Kate, is there has been some allegations against the founder about child pornography
I did hear about
stuff.
this. Yeah.
So I'm trying to put it sensitively. It reminds me a little bit of the Jungle Freaks situation. You know, so another thing that happened is Andrew Wang apparently was pretending to be a 13-year-old artist in the space on Twitter.
Dude, what the fuck was that?
And like, he was talking with the founder of our Gobblers, and the founder started asking him all explicit tweets and, you know, let me gobble over you, and a lot of really horrible stuff. But he thought he was a 13-year-old. So look, I mean, you know, I don't know. This is like everyday changes. That's why if you've got an opportunity to make great profit, you should sell it. You know, so yeah, I mean, I don't know the extent of the truth behind the allegations, but Andrew Wang, I do know, is quite notable in the space, and I don't think he would, you know, make things up. But you never know anything. All I know is that this is trending downwards at the moment, and I think if this stuff is true, then this will eventually die out to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, so like I said, I've been focused on the business the last couple of days. So I've been as active on Twitter. I've been active enough to know that there was some drama. All I saw on Twitter's timeline yesterday was just, they're like, oh my God, like I hate this, I hate that. Like, why is the space so negative? And I was like kind of confused what was going on. And then in relation to Art Gobblers, I want to draw attention to Rugrats. I'm sure, Philip, you remember that project. Remember when they dropped and everyone was really excited because they like had some value the first few days. We're like, holy shit, like, I can't believe they pulled it off. What a dub. And then they crashed, and Art Gobblers is already cut in half, you know, and it's like, whoa, that was fast, bro. And I think it's because of that. It's such high speculation with such a big promise of rewards that don't make any sense that it just sounds too good to be true. And in this kind of market, I just don't think we have the capacity to like pull that off, you know, versus in a bull run, too good to be true is almost always going to happen, right? Like everything you hope could happen, like literally has a chance versus now, you know, I think I'm like 1 for 6 on mints that even have gone up a fraction since mint day, which, you know, isn't the best way to judge if a project's doing well, but it's kind of a decent way to measure like interest and demand in the project. And I don't know, man. I'm not sure. What do you think about art gobblers? Like, what is your prediction for the next few weeks?
Look, I think this throws a spanner into the works. You know, these new allegations. If true, I think it could be a very big problem for them because Julian is really the face behind the project. And you know, you don't want FUD at the stage. Before this FUD, or this, you know, truth, I really don't know. Before all of this, I was really quite bullish on them. You know, they've got a huge venture backing. The way they laying out the collection is slowly. So yes, you will get to 10,000, but you need 50 goop to get more goops, to get more gobblers. It takes a long time to get 50 goops. So you sort of ensure that it's rolled out slowly. You can show the art in the tummies of the gobblers, which I think is also quite cool and new. And if you get the right collabs on board with that and have like really big art in the stomachs, that could really have, you know, a double, triple floor price sales on a consistent basis, which is always good for a collection as well.
Right.
So I was really bullish on them across the board. I mean, I did that video 7-8 weeks ago. Which has actually blown up in the last 3 days.
Yeah, dude,
the Art Gobblers review. Yeah, but you know, we even the notes there say like this could be one to watch, and that, you know, we saw what happened when other projects got venture funding of this amount. They were at a 15 ETH floor. That's what my description says. And these guys were at a 15 ETH floor. So, yeah, I was really, really bullish. I don't like the allegations. If they are true, then I don't think anyone should support this project. But again, I haven't looked. I'm not judge and jury. So I haven't looked at it enough to be able to say, you know, yes or no, this is what happened for sure. It's all hearsay at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the art, I mean, like, I covered it on my channel as well. I think yesterday, the day before, on a live stream, and kind of broke it down what was important through my, it was a tea time episode, solo, and I kind of broke it down. The art thing was interesting because it's like the thing, like everything that they had laid out as far as like how the ecosystem would works if people like adopt it, if the market says, okay, this is lit, we like it. But if people don't care about it and the floor starts going down and people lose interest and then it just becomes another thing that happened, then it pretty much is just going to be fucking like useless again, just like every other project.
Yeah.
So
I think the space, as you know, Cade, like it's already got a short attention span. And then if you throw like proper serious allegations into the mix, and as you say, people like, you know, lose interest, then it's done before it started. I do think that I'm always hesitant and you know, a bit concerned when there's tokens involved, because we know, you and I, bro, we know what happens when there's a token. Everyone gets paid for the first couple of weeks, amazingly, and then it's just not sustainable, you know. But I mean, you can just see here how the volume has just died.
Yeah,
I mean, these dots represent
crazy
sales. It's just literally died. Like no one wants to buy, and that is why you've got the floor price dropping, because, you know, people are wanting to get out, but no one is really wanting to get in, right?
Yeah,
and there's another interesting thing: offers versus listings. You're seeing more listings than offers at the moment. So yeah, I mean, definitely short term, we can see the trajectory is going down. I mean, even this chart is predicting it over here. It remains to be seen what happens long term. But even before the allegations, 20 ETH was not sustainable. I mean, I did that interview with Kosha on Wednesday. You were there. Thank you so much for helping with the camera. And I said to him, sell. That was when it was 20.
He
said,
one?
I'm not sure what to do. I said to him, "Sell." Oh, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, like even before the allegations came out,
Yeah.
it was obvious, and I think we even spoke about it. I don't know if it was you and me who spoke about it, but it
Can't
was just
remember.
obvious that it was not sustainable. You know, and now you compound that with these serious allegations.
What do you think they'd be at without
Yes,
it, without the allegations? Like,
I think there'd be about 12, 13.
do you think it would
You
have
know,
crashed though? Like, why is it not sustainable? Why did Moonbirds succeed but not Rick and Morty?
well, Moonbirds didn't. Moonbirds was on 30 ETH, and you can now pick them up for 8.5 Ethereum.
Well, yeah, but that's months later. Like when it was happening, they went from 10 to 20 to 30 to
Yeah,
40
so when I say
35.
sustainable, I say that the 15, 20 ETH floor is not sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, so you look
No,
at
I agree. I
Moonbirds
mean, I
was
agree. I'm just trying to figure out like what it was about Moonbirds that got like I don't know what the difference was. Why it was able to shoot to 40 ETH and continue climbing before they dropped their
but
little
there
handbag purse and crushed their
there
brand.
you had there you had Kevin Rose, who has
This is
been
Rick
in
and
the
Morty,
space.
bro. What do you mean? Rick and
No, no,
Morty's
no,
like,
but Kevin Rose is a Web3 native.
yeah, that's
He
true.
also
That's true.
has, he also has that podcast, which is, he's been in the space and is very connected. Also the venture funding, which you have on both of them, but he also has the main collection, the Proof Collective, which was
Mm,
sitting at 100
true.
ETH. So he had a lot more on the Web3 going for him, whereas Julian has a lot more in Web2 going for him, right?
Hmm.
What else he has going for him is that the art meta is pumping. I love this website, by the way.
True.
The art
Yeah,
the
me too.
art meta is pumping at the moment, and you can even draw your own ones and